Okay, so we're gonna start by measuring out our wax. As you can see, I have a pot in the back, and that is going to be our double boiler situation. I'm gonna put our wax in here, and then this little pot in there. So here we go. Now, if my calculations are correct, about 1 pound of wax should give you about 3 candles. So we'll see. 3 8-ounce candles, I'm sorry. So we're just gonna measure out our wax. And these aren't going to be colored. I usually don't color my candles. I really rely on candles for the smell. I could care less about the color. But if you guys want to see me make some fancy candles like I've made in the past with like piping and glitter and different things like that, you can check out the videos. I'll link them in this video, in the cards, and also in the description. So just look out for that for my other candle making videos. Okay, it's a tiny bit over, but it's not really gonna make much of a difference. I got this little handy dandy mixer from Hobby Lobby. It was on sale. I think I got it for maybe like $1 or $2. You could probably find it at the dollar store if you really wanted to look. At this point, if you were using wax colorant, you would put that in here with this. But for right now, we're just going to melt this down. And while we're waiting for this to melt, we are going to prepare our containers. Now I'm planning on doing a bunch of candles with the same scent. This is tying into our The Way of Color soap, and I'm going to make that into a gift set. And you've probably seen the videos already and some of the products in these videos that I've been making, which are the bubble bars right here, or bubble bricks as I like to call them. We have a roll-on scented oil, these candles, a body butter, and that's it. So, I bought these in bulk from Nature's Garden. I also got my wax from Nature's Garden. You can use any type of wax that you like. The steps that I take with the wax that I have is simply for soy wax. You can use Joy Blend wax, paraffin wax. It really is all to your preference. I like soy wax because it's versatile and it's very easy to work with. And I also use soy wax in my what is that called? Oh no. Massage candles. So if you spill it or happen to hit yourself with it or something like that, it's not going to scald you, or at least in my experience it hasn't. So I have these little caution stickers that I'm going to place on the bottom of these, and it's going to take quite some time, so I'm just going to speed this up while I'm putting the stickers on, and then we're going to go ahead and put our tabs in, and I'll slow that down for maybe like 1 or 2 and let you guys see that, how I do that with my handy dandy glue gun, and we'll go from there. Alrighty, bugs. So we're down to our last 3, and I'm gonna show you guys how I glue on my wicks. And I use these. These are CD wicks, I believe. Nothing special. They just burn candles really well. Basically, it's your standard wick that you would find for any other candle maker, unless they use something ultra specific or that doesn't have, I would think it's like nickel or zinc or something like that. I don't know. But it's nothing fancy. I just buy these in bulk as well. So you're just gonna take your glue gun, which is also affordable. This was $2.99, but you can get it from the Dollar Tree as well as the glue sticks. I have several, and a few of them came from the Dollar Tree. So you're just gonna put a little dollop like this, and then you're going as best as you can to stick it in the very center, unless you want to do 2 or 3 wicks, and then you figure out how best they'll sit in there together. Do one more in the center, and our last. You can also use glue dots, but for me, I just rather go ahead and do this, so I don't feel like using glue dots. I already have a bunch of these things called glue guns, so I don't need to have anything extra. I already have too much itty bitty stuff around my house. So now I'm gonna take a clothespin, or 2 rather, and just like how I did this one here, but it was in time lapse, you can really see, that's gonna hold our wick in place. Right now that's kind of loosey goosey because it's not on there, but it's good enough. So I'm just gonna make sure it's staying in here like so. I'm gonna take the other one, and they have like clips and things, if you will, when you're making your own candles at home or for your business, that you can actually purchase to do this for you. But again, this was from the Dollar Tree. It was affordable, and so that's what I got. There we go. It's being a little pain in the butt for a second. So, and then you have it, and you just pour your wax in there, and I will demonstrate that in a sec. After we finish this, we still have to scent our wax. And then we'll be able to pour. You can also like roll these around if you like, just to have it a little bit more precise. Quite honestly, I just thought about this again because I bought these clothespins for this purpose, and then I hadn't made candles in a while, and I was just like, ugh. And then I thought about this soap, and I wanted to make a complete set of it. So, perfect time to pull out all the candle stalks. Let me just fix this. Burner is still hot and my wick is like going with it. All right, so we're gonna take this off the water. You're gonna want your thermometer for this. If you, I would say don't put your fragrance in, especially if it's a citrus or very light fragrance in, above 130 or 125. No matter what it says on the scent recommendation, because you're going to have to mix this in for a while. And some of it is going to burn off regardless of what you do. So just make sure that you're putting the right amount for the weight of your oils, for your, thinking of soap, for the weight of your wax, and make sure that you mix it in for at least 2 minutes. I usually try to do 4 so it can bind, but you want to make sure that your fragrance, whether it's essential oil or synthetic, that is going to bind to your wax, because then it's no point in the candle. So I'm going to measure out my candle fragrance weight inside this wax here, and it's a bit on the hot side, but this is mixed, and so I'm going to need to put it in at a higher temperature. If you want more science behind it or a better explanation, you can always go on to Wholesale Supplies Plus and see what their recommendations are for candles. Brambleberry, I believe has, I don't know, Brambleberry I believe has recommendations as well. But basically any site that you would get your supplies from. And if you don't make candles professionally, or you're not a soap maker, whatever, you can always find you know, candle kits and different things like that on those websites, or at your local hobby store, and it will give you recommendations on how to make a great candle. Hey Siri, set a timer for 4 minutes. All right, so like I said, you want to starting now. Really? So like I said, you want to mix, and let me move this out of the way so you can see. I'll finish all those other ones up later. Oh, this smells so good. It's like 6. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7 different essential oils and fragrances that I have in this, and it's just to die for. But I'm not gonna make you guys watch me mix this the whole time, so I'll add in a time lapse so that you guys can see that I'm actually mixing this. But it's going to be for 4. 2 minutes is the minimum. I'm just doing it for 4 minutes to appease myself. So we will come back with the time lapse. So our timer has went off. It's been 4 minutes since I started mixing this, and of course I can't help myself, but you want to wait until it's like slushy like, so it's going to start turning opaque, but it's still going to be loose, and that's when you're going to pour into your containers. So we will be back when it's time for me to pour it into the containers. So while that's happening, I'm going to finish setting up the rest of my wicks so they don't be loosey-goosey like they are. Okay, so I definitely don't feel like waiting for this to turn into slushy. It has cooled down significantly though, and these are going to cure anyway, and curing is basically pouring this, letting it solidify, and then covering it for a few weeks. The same way that you would do soap, you would set it out so it can dry out and become hard and blah blah blah. So for this, you want the scent to retain in the wax, and that is going to help further bind it to the oils and make it stronger. So when you light your wick, you can smell your candle. Again, this is solely for soy wax. I am not well versed in any other wax because I don't use it. So take what I say with a grain of salt, and not for every single type of wax. And we're gonna fill this all the way until it gets to that little lip right there. And we're gonna let it sit and cool and solidify. And as you can see, I did add a little time lapse into the video where I decided to only use one clothespin. It's a lot easier. Especially since I don't have much space right now since I made all these products. And we're gonna pour our last one. And this time I'm going to allow some to melt. I'm gonna do the pound, then I'm gonna allow it to melt some, and then I'm gonna add more because I do not have all day to be sitting here mixing candles. Okay. This little tiny amount should be able to fit without going over. Oh, this smells so good. Like, have you ever made anything that you just want to eat, even though you're not supposed to? So I'm gonna turn my water back on. I'm gonna add more wax, and then we're going to time lapse me pouring the rest. You'll see the complete product once it's fully solidified. Alright, bugs, so we're at our pouring portion of this episode. I have like over 60 ounces of wax in here. I put, I want to say maybe about more than half, melted most of it down, then added more as it was melting. And now I am combining the fragrance in this wax. And these are starting to solidify. I'm going to use the heat gun on these to smooth out the top. And that's essentially why you want to pour it as a slushy. It still can ripple at the top. And again, you just use a heat gun to blast the top and make it smooth. But I've been mixing this for quite a while, so let's go ahead and start pouring. You already saw me do one regular, I believe, so we're just gonna go ahead and pour this in. Bugs. So a few of mine have like little divots at the top. Not even too sure it's fully dry. I think it is. Let's look at this one. Yeah, and sometimes that'll happen. My wick just fell over, and you don't have to worry about that. That's gonna fill in. This one isn't too bad, but it does have some frost at the top. Same with this one, but I'm loving the placement of the wicks. They're dead center, and that's exactly what I wanted. But we're going to have to hit this with the heat gun just to smooth out the top. I'm going I'm going to clip the wicks, and then I'm going to let them cure for about 3 weeks, probably longer. I'll let them cure the same amount of time as the soap is curing. And push this down, that over there. They smell amazing. It smells so good in my basement. You guys don't even know. Alright, so we're gonna plug in the heat gun, and this is gonna be extremely loud and annoying, so I'm just going to put this on a time lapse, but you guys will get the gist. And I'll be clipping the, see, annoying. I'm gonna be clipping the wicks with my wick cutters or wick scissors. That's these little doodads right here. The tip is a little funny, so that's what we'll be cutting them with. I think it's supposed to be like 1/4 of an inch or so. I'm just gonna cut it to where I think it should be.